full slate of games today, starting at 3 a.m. So I want to go through the top 5 moments from Wednesday, starting with number 5, Cuba and Australia's quarterfinal thriller.
Yeah, the Cuba and Australia game. It was the first quarterfinal of the World Baseball Classic this year, and it really didn't disappoint. Woke up in the middle of the night on the West Coast and needed some good action to happen, and boy, did I get it. There was a lot of good pitching to start the game. Team Cuba pitched really well. Team Australia had some really timely hitting that brought them back into the game when you thought they were down and out. And down to the very last out of the game, this was an intense matchup. A huge homer to right field from Team Australia. Really good defense from Team Canada. I mean, to me today, this was one of the better games when I think people expected Cuba to kind of come in and rout them. And Team Australia from the beginning of this tournament has really impressed. They impressed in this game, but ultimately Team Cuba is the first team in the World Baseball Classic to punch their ticket to the Final Four.
All right, moving on to number 4, the atmosphere at Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic game.
Alex, I follow a lot of people that work in the baseball media world, and I saw multiple messages of multiple tweets and social media posts of people there in attendance saying it's the middle of March and this is the best baseball atmosphere I've ever seen. And I feel like you could feel that through the TV. There's not often times you can really feel it, but I mean, look at this.
I'm jumping up and down in my seat right now, just watching them go ham.
It was a party from 9 a.m. on.
Yeah.
They got there at 9 in the morning when their game wasn't until late in the afternoon. They packed the place. Their game was at 7 o'clock Eastern, and the crowds were unlike anything I've ever seen in that stadium, which isn't saying the most in the world, but that Francisco Lindor homer, there were so many. Juan Soto's 450-foot home run to dead center. The crowds were something that it makes me very excited to be going to Miami for the finish of this tournament, because it's going to be rowdy and an incredible atmosphere again.
Yes, it is. All right, number 3, AROZARENA signing autographs for fans in the outfield.
I'm so intrigued by Randy AROZARENA. He shows up in the biggest games as if he's Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
He'll wear cowboy boots in the warm-ups, and he'll just absolutely rake throughout the entire time it's happening. Playoffs, World Baseball Classic, and he's continued to do that in this tournament. He's continued to just take over for Team Mexico. And now in a game that meant everything to Team Mexico, win in advance, lose, and you're probably out, they make a pitching change, and Randy AROZARENA goes back to the wall, the left field wall, and starts signing for fans just in the middle of the game. Signing baseballs, signing gloves, signing a massive...
can we talk about how big that glove is? I don't know if I've ever seen a glove that big.
Yeah, it's the size of his torso.
His whole body could fit inside of that glove.
Signing that.
He put it on his hand, too. It's epic.
Randy AROZARENA has become a legend from the 2020 playoffs to seeing him in this. He arises to the biggest occasions, and seeing him sign autographs for fans during the game was a special moment.
All right, moving on to number 2. Kennelly's daughter starting the Go Daddy chant in the stands.
Tim Kennelly is a legend in the Australia baseball world, as they said a million times in the broadcast for those games. He's part of the first family of Australian baseball, and he's the leadoff hitter for Team Australia. But the best part of all of it is his daughter in the stands today was screaming and starting a chant of the entire Australian fan section, "Let's go, Daddy." And it was so loud and so just
pure,
sweet,
and loving.
We've gotten so many special moments from this tournament, from the Japan fans passing around Shohei's home run ball to this little girl in the stands just so wholesomely rooting for her dad down on the field, and that was really cool.
All right, and our number 1 moment of the day is Lindor's Little League inside the park home run that just sent the stadium on fire.
It's everything about it. It's Francisco Lindor. It's the good swing. It's the hard hit to center. there was a misplay in center field by Julio Rodriguez, which is a shocker in itself.
Yeah.
Then Lindor just put on the burners, made it all the way around, ends up scoring. The whole team was out of the dugout, jumping up and down, celebrating. The stadium was legitimately shaking. It was really cool to see. And to explain, I call it a Little League homer because it doesn't count as a home run for Francisco Lindor because of the error. But what it does count as is a run.
Yeah.
And what it was a lot of fun. To me, that was the best moment of the day. The energy, the passion. It was Francisco Lindor involved. It was Julio Rodriguez involved. It was the crowds. It was the atmosphere. Perfection.